It's funny because I was the one saying all this stuff to in Bioshock. Everything that what the twins say, like what's done is done, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Well, also some Middle Easterns actually said it too, but they were talking about something else. But I was the one that was telling Rodney. I said once it's done, once you do this, like this is a forever choice. And I told Rodney in the bathroom at Mountain Drive. I told him, I said this is a forever choice, Rodney. What you're about to do, the next couple of years are going to decide a lot of things, and a lot of people's lives will be changed because of what you're doing. Like what you're about to do, or what you're part of, is going to change a lot of lives, and also end a lot of lives. It's going to have a forever effect that can never be undone. You can't just go back and redo things. People become part of your existence, and your existence become part of, it intertwines. There's nothing you can do to stop it. There's nothing you can do to change it. Like you can save people and pull people out of the situation using some serious technology, but it is very hard to do, and only I could do that. And I did do that at some point in time. I did save a few people that would have died forever, and some other stuff. I basically was, well, I mean, I was exponential, whatever existence. I was that life form. I'm the only one, or one of the only ones. Like only I could do stuff like that because, well, I'm all throughout space. I'm that one. Lucky me. Rodney and Rick Bush would be like, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know. He's, basically he did know what I was talking about though. He was just playing dumb because he knew he was fucked. Like he knew it was already too late. He had already done too much. I mean, at first he thought it was all cool and awesome and everything else like that, but then, it gets bad. As I told him it would. I was like, he was making decisions, he was doing things, and they would have forever consequences. He still calls me crazy. So I don't know. Rick Bush too. Oh, like you idiots! You were there in Vietnam. You saw what was going on. Anyway, it doesn't really matter now. And it didn't really matter for my existence or the existence of the others. Like, there was no stopping it. A lot of people, bro, like, it frustrates me all to hell because I've had to deal with their crap for 40 years, and I still have to deal with their crap. They fucked up. They fucked up. It's just like I said, and I said they're going to be angry, and they're going to do something about it. And like Rodney was like, well, it's going to be your fault. It's like, it's not going to be my fault. I had nothing to do with Rodney or Rick Bush. Smarter than average bear, a basket case. Like they were young. They were stupid. They were like 30, 40 years old and just really fucking stupid. And what they did basically allowed for lots of people in the Middle East to die. Like the war in Israel, the Middle East, Papa, the Black versus White War, the bombing of Germany, all that stuff. Basically, what Rodney did caused all that stuff to happen, and he'll deny it forever. He's like, we can never tell. We have to take this to our grave. Like, you damn right you do. I said, you need to grab Rodney Briley and Rick Bush and just basically hold them down, waterboard them, or basically do a lie detector test and shoot them up with True and find out what's really going on. He'll never admit it. He's a scared little bitch, and he should be. So is Rick Bush. And later on he's like, oh, he's just trying to save his own skin. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm just a star. I'm epic. I have nothing to hide. I admit everything. Later on, like they were like, oh, basket case. We'll just get a doctor and we'll commit him. We'll have him committed. It's like, actually, doctors can't actually commit people. They actually have to show grounds for insanity. I'm not insane. And in the next 100,000 years, or 100, or a few hundred years, everything will become evident. The more technology there is in the world, the more you're just going to see what is everything I said. The LSF ship, the Blackbirds are made out of titanium. Actually, the Blackbirds, the SR-71s, one's titanium, one's depleted uranium. The new ones that they built were made out of titanium, which isn't quite the same as depleted uranium. And they even got some aircraft person to say depleted uranium wouldn't do good at all for an airframe. It's not good at all. Trying to say that the titanium was too brittle. I mean, depleted uranium was too brittle or something, or too this or too that. That the aircraft would break apart. It was made out of depleted uranium, so it couldn't be depleted uranium. Anyway, I don't know. Like I said, they got it. They gave a whole bunch of people Harvard PhD. Like, it's a piece of paper with that says PhD on it. Other than that, they were just normal people. They didn't have any. They weren't particularly intelligent. They weren't anything. And then they took it to court. It's a Dr. PhD. You have to. It must be submitted in my statements must be submitted. They were paid people to say whatever, and they would say whatever you paid them to say. Back in the 50s and 40s, they used to have put out ads for a paid liar. We'll pay you $500 if you'll say this statement. They ran an ad for it in the paper. That's why, just like you find out all the Nazi white supremacist views were actually at Harvard. If you look at all the flyers all the flyers that were in the Harvard newspaper, because they had their own newspaper and printing press, you'd find out a lot of the things that it traces back to like JFK or something. The Harvard and Yale people. A couple people were wondering what was really going on in this world, and started looking at all the schools and started doing basically the things that I said to do. Like, look at the schools, look at Harvard, Yale, look at these places. You'll probably find your truth there. And sure enough, they found JFK and Harvard and Yale and Nixon, Harvard and Yale, and some kids, and then they found white cocaine and a bunch of other things. A bunch of kids were hiring older people to basically pretend to say things or do things or whatever. I don't really know. I guess possible even some guy that looked like Adolf Hitler was paid to film things or do things. You know, it might have been JFK or something. I don't know. Harvard and Yale, you just got to do the research. Like I said, it used to be an old mine. There was a jail underneath it inside the mining complex is still underneath Harvard or Yale. It's still down there. And a lot of the Irish people would say, well, it's all still down there. We didn't destroy it. I mean, you couldn't really destroy it. It collapsed the ground on top. So you can't really destroy a mine anyway. I mean, you can try and blast it, but it's just going to make it bigger. You know. So it's still down there. It just fills up with water. So anyway, eventually they started pumping it out and they turned it into a jail. And that's where Nixon was hiding a bunch of people. Or JFK were hiding a bunch of people down inside Harvard. Inside the basement, taking a bunch of girls down there and raping them. Anyway, they went down, because there's an access or something, a wall that you can remove at Harvard or something. There's like a door down there or something. You could go down inside the old mine that's underneath Harvard. There might be one underneath Yale too. A lot of these places were just old mines. Just because you can't, they're 3,000 deep mines. They're way down there. So they're not going to collapse. They're not going to go anywhere. They just fill up with water. You just pump them out, and some of them are kind of big. So anyway, the government was trying to hide it. The U.S. government was trying to hide all the mines and all the mine shafts. They're shipping drugs, holding people in jail cells down there, doing all kinds of bad crap. But you couldn't see it on the surface, of course. And you'd have to know about them.